All right, so you understand how to set up your profile, how to use Zoom from Zoom US, and also how to use Zoom from within Blackboard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into an actual Zoom call and start looking at the details of how things work. So in this particular session, we're gonna just focus on the settings within Zoom, doing a quick walk of the navigation, and then we'll have future videos with very specific chunks of different things you can work with. So I just wanted to make the point clear that if you are in your Blackboard class, you would click into that Zoom Classroom link that you created, and right then and there, you can just go ahead and start your session, or alternatively, you can just log into your zoom.us account, and you'll also have all your sessions there. Now, if you have multiple sections, multiple classes, you're going to have quite the list in your zoom.us account that's listing out here. So my suggestion is if you're managing multiple Zooms and multiple courses, I would start here in your Zoom class that's integrated with your Blackboard account. Now, all the additional like one-off meetings that are not scheduled within your classroom can be found in your zoom.us account. So you may be logging into either one of these interfaces. Now, if you're just a user in the zoom.us interface and a staff member that never touches Blackboard, don't worry about it. This video will work for both sessions because if you're a staff member or you're a faculty member or both and you're logging into Zoom, the experience within Zoom is very much the same. So let's jump in by starting a session. So either course, either which way you want to go, you can click the start button right here in zoom.us, and then in Blackboard you can just click the start button. So let's go ahead and get this guy started up. Clicking on that meeting is going to do one of a couple things. Number one, if you do not have the application downloaded to your computer, it's going to ask you to download the application. Otherwise, it's going to go ahead and just ask you which, the computer audio or the phone audio. Now, right now, computer audio is saying, do you have a microphone connected to this computer? You can click the test speaker to really see what microphones you have. You can hear some ringtones. Yes, I did hear those ringtones. And then look it, I have it set up with my microphone. Should replay it right back to you. So I heard that. And then you also want to see if everything is ready to go. I want to join with that computer audio. Everything's looking great. Now, if that did not look great, we can go through on how to make that happen. So I'm just going to hit join with computer in a minute just to keep a quick insight here. You can also join by phone. This is cool because you can just have the video on your computer and then call in on a cell phone. The one thing to be really careful of is to make sure you input your participant ID so that links your video session with your phone, and sometimes you just have a little bit clearer, better audio if you join by phone. In most instances though, I find that I have enough bandwidth and I just join by my computer audio and use my webcam. So if you're having some issues with audio, or you just want to make sure your audio is really consistent, join by the phone, and then you can also have your video playing. The video might be choppy if you had bad internet connection, for instance, but the audio would be consistent throughout that session. So that's why you might balance those audio sessions. So we'll join by audio. Now I'm going to maximize my screen and we're going to take a look at a few things. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my video. So here I am. Hello. I am joining my video. So my video is now here in Zoom. And now there's a couple options that you can click on when you have your video set up. Is if you go to your video, you click this up arrow, and you may have some additional camera options here. If you're in a classroom, you might also have something in regard to a dot cam from here. So this is the button. This is your switch to go between inputs if you have multiple cameras connected to your computer. Additionally, if you have multiple microphones connected to your computer, you click on this audio button. You click that up, you'll be able to see all the microphones that are set up. You can click between those. If you have multiple speaker outputs, so sometimes you might have a headset. So I got a headset here that has an integrated mic in there. You may want to plug this in, put this on your head, and be able to use that audio if you don't have great audio. I'm pulling audio from a different microphone for this recording so I can help you out. So I can see I have like 3 or 4 microphones that might be already associated with my computer. Now, there are some additional options in here. We're not going to hit every detail. You can go ahead and explore those. There's plenty of help docs on zoom.us. I'm trying to get you to the exact things that you need to be an effective Zoomer, in the classroom, or maybe in meetings. So one of the first things just to really know is how to mute and unmute these different options. So you click those guys and that's going to mute them, it's going to unmute them. That is going to be a helpful way to mute either your video or your audio. Maybe you need to go do something. You're going to go run and pick something up and jump off the video for a second. So you just mute your video. You can still hear audio. You go walk over and you go do something. You come back, you turn it back on. Or maybe you just don't want your video there for the day because you're going to be recording something. Or, you're still in your pajamas, but, you want to record your audio. Well, that's going to be very helpful here. This is the settings video. So let's talk about settings. We'll get into all these things in a different session. In this particular one, I'm going to go ahead and click the up arrow on the audio. Now, I just want to let you know that clicking the up arrow on this audio or clicking the up arrow on this particular video will get you to this thing that says video settings or audio settings. It doesn't matter which one you go to, but when you click it, it opens the settings for everything. And it's going to put you right there on the specific one. So if you open it for audio, it's there. You open it for video, it's there. And you can set some things up. Let's go through the settings menu. I think it's important that we do go through this with not a fine-tooth comb, but a quick once over to see what we want to set up. Some of these are to your preference. I'm going to let you pick it based off of what you have. If you have dual monitors, it's awesome to click that dual monitors click. I have dual monitors in my office and in my house, but I am recording this session on a screen that will be the typical size that you would find in most of the classrooms across campus. I want you to have the most authentic experience that is being recorded here so you can kind of follow along and see the kinds of things that you might be able to have in these sessions. General settings, go through it yourself, take a look at what you want to turn on as you go through that. Video are the settings of how you're going to be pulling in your video, all the specifications that you might need, widescreen, original screen. So for instance, if I put this on the original ratio, it might change my my video if I were to hit submit and take a look at that. Now, I'm not really seeing any difference there, to be honest with you. I think the original ratio is the same as the widescreen. If I were to disable HD, you're going to notice it zooms in my camera. It's not quite the same experience. That's giving an SD experience. I might even be a little bit more blurrier in this video. I honestly can't tell. It looks pretty dang blurry right now on my screen. So let's go back into my video settings and I turn on that HD. You're going to get a little bit more of the peripheries of the room that you're in. So HD is what you want to be on when you're in a classroom setting to get that better, broader kind of perspective as you walk around. Now, Mirror My Video is one that you're going to want to know where it's at. It's right there in the video settings. Mirroring your video can change your video. So right now I have it on so you get that mirror experience as you're looking at that video. Why would you want to turn it off? Well, when you're using the dock camera in the classroom, if you're projecting it to face-to-face students, you're going to get a mirror of your dock cam video and everything's going to be in reverse. So knowing how to turn that mirror off is going to be something you're going to really want to do. These other things are going to be based off of what you want in your meetings. So always displaying the participant names on the video might be helpful if you want to know the names of people and call on them as you go throughout their class. It's up to you. Go through the rest of those based off what you're looking to have in your course sessions. The same thing for your audio. You're able to adjust what sessions you go to. One of the cool things that you can do is you can press and hold the space key to temporarily unmute yourself. So for instance, if you mute yourself in the session, it's always good practice to keep yourself on mute so you're not getting some residual noise just getting into that particular session. And a quick way is to be able to hold that space bar, make a comment or two, release it, and then you go back in mute mode. There's information about sharing your screen. There's also a bunch of stuff in regard to virtual backgrounds. Now, virtual backgrounds are typically used when you're in a meeting scenario. It's a way to change your background so it looks like something else is going on. So for instance, if I were to click on this virtual background, I'm now sitting somewhere else. I'm in a little office space, you can see. So, or really, it's more of a green office space, so to speak. But the virtual background is typically when you're sitting close to the camera and you want it to key out the background. Now, depending on the computer, it may not even work that well, but those are available for you there. You can kind of check those out as you may see fit. So virtual backgrounds are something that kind of transport you to a unique location if you don't have some really cool stuff that's going on in your background. I'm going to turn back to none at this moment and go on from there. Recording is a big one. I will talk about this in the recording video when you take a look at that. But just a brief, quick insight is if you are doing a local recording, this is where you change where it's dropped in. So under these settings, before you hit record on a session, you can open this panel up and say, hey, drop it to this jump drive that I threw in this computer. And then that way you're recording locally instead of recording into the cloud if you'd like to take that angle. There's also statistics about your computer, the quality, your CPU, all the different insights about what you got going on your computer, and it's going to help you identify how good you're going to be at being able to hold that Zoom call. You also have some feedback you can send out, keyboard shortcuts that are helpful, and accessibility options within Zoom. So that's going to get you into your Zoom call and at least get you into those settings and where you can really manage that.